God's messenger is knocking at your door. This is the last alert before your blessing is released. Open before 11:59 p.m. Ignore this and let God turn away from you. The clock of heaven is striking, not with the sound of seconds, but with the tremble of destiny. This is not just another moment. This is the appointed hour. A spiritual alarm has been set in the realms above, and now the knock is at your door. Heaven's messenger has been dispatched, not to the masses, not to the multitude, but to you, the one who has travailed in secret, the one who has fought battles with no witnesses, the one who has waited with aching hope while others passed by seemingly blessed. And now the hour has come, before 11:59 p.m. Something eternal must be decided. This is not a message for the curious. This is a call to the called. This is the holy signal to the chosen, the ones set apart for something they couldn't even fully explain. For weeks, months, or even years you've cried God when you've knocked and heard no answer. You've asked and received silence. But the silence was never rejection. It was preparation. Heaven never forgets those it marks. And tonight, the final alert has been issued. There is a sacred knock echoing across the unseen, not one heard with natural ears, but one that shakes the spirit. It comes in waves of urgency, through a stirring in the soul, through tears you don't understand, through a weight you can't explain. This is your visitation hour. But visitation always comes with condition. Heaven does not break protocol. Heaven doesn't barge in. It knocks. And you must open. The condition is obedience. Not perfection. Not performance. But obedience. Will you pause long enough to respond? Will you silence the noise and listen? Because this is the threshold. The line between breakthrough and breakdown, between visitation and spiritual vacancy. The messenger comes only once in a moment like this. You are standing at the edge of a divine gate, and if you open it, the blessing you've prayed for, the one you nearly stopped believing for, will cross over into your life. But if you ignore it, the silence will return, and heaven will wait for another season. The knock is real. The moment is now, and your spirit already knows it. Type "I receive heaven's visitation" in the comments if you feel this call. Blessing code 1159 is now unlocking your door. Hear this now, for I, Michael, Archangel and servant of the Most High, declare it with fire. The Lord of hosts has sent a messenger to your dwelling. The hour is not random. A moment is not coincidence. This is the precise spiritual window carved by divine timing. Between now and 11:59 p.m., your response will echo through eternity. Yes, heaven is waiting, not on the world, not on the nation, but on you. The knock resounds again. It is not made of wood and hand. It is made of eternal assignment and sacred release. This is not poetic mystery. This is heaven's official alert. It is not man's opinion. It is not a hopeful thought. It is a heavenly order sealed in urgency. Can you feel it? The very air around you has shifted. The atmosphere trembles with invisible anticipation. Angels are aligned, watching and waiting. The realm of spirit is thick, not with fear, but with purpose. For something is being delivered, and yet it cannot enter without your response. You have wondered why you felt heavy lately, not tired in body, but weary in soul. You have felt a restlessness, a weight, a tug that no entertainment could soothe, no distraction could ease. That is the mark of visitation. Your spirit has already heard the knock, even if your mind hasn't yet understood it. But listen, not every knock comes with words. Some come with fire. Some come with silence. Some come in dreams, in whispers, in tears you didn't see coming. But they are all the same. They are divine tests of your attention. This word, this very moment, is not a broadcast. It is a spiritual transaction. It is the final notice to the faithful, the last call to the weary watchman, the trumpet sound to the one who almost gave up too soon. You are not listening to this by chance. You are drawn by divine alignment. Do not harden your heart. Do not dismiss this as familiar, for the messenger has come bearing not just answers, but instructions. And what you do before 11:59 p.m. will determine what heaven releases into your hands. There is danger in delay. There is tragedy in ignoring the sacred. And too many miss their blessing because they treat holy moments like human suggestions. But this is not suggestion. This is a command to arise, respond, and receive. If you wait until it's comfortable, you'll miss it. If you delay until you feel ready, the gate will close. If you doubt because of past disappointments, the knock will fade into silence. And then you will wonder where heaven went, never knowing it had already passed your door. The Lord says, this knock is not eternal. It will not wait forever. But it comes with everything you've cried out for: peace, clarity, release, reward. The messenger carries your confirmation. The door must open from your side. The question is not whether God is knocking. The question is, will you open? Type "I am open" in the comments if you hear this knock in your spirit. Blessing code 777 is stirring in your atmosphere right now. You felt it, haven't you? The unrest. The silent storms behind your smile. The weight pressing on your chest at night when no one's watching. You've questioned yourself more in the past few weeks than in the last 5 years combined. You've wondered if you missed something, if you misheard God, if somehow, somewhere, you lost the way. But let me tell you the truth the enemy didn't want you to hear. You are not lost. You are not forgotten. You are under surveillance because you are under divine release. There has been a disruption, not by accident but by strategy. The enemy saw the timing, sensed the movement, and sent resistance into your emotional and spiritual atmosphere. Yes, you felt confusion where there once was clarity. You felt fatigue in places where you once had fire. Why? Because something has already shifted, and hell always responds when heaven begins to release. This is why you've been second-guessing every decision. This is why you suddenly found yourself surrounded by silence, even from the people who once applauded you. Some of them disappeared. Some of them withdrew. Some of them even turned against you, not because they hate you, but because they don't recognize the version of you that's emerging. They were connected to your survival, but they are not aligned with your release. Listen closely. The tension you feel is not punishment. It is transition. Your spirit is under emotional and spiritual interference because the blessing is closer than it has ever been. And the adversary knows, if he can get you to doubt in this hour, to back down, to close the door on what feels unclear, then he can delay the release heaven has already authorized. He sent 3 shadows to your doorstep: doubt, distraction, and delay. Doubt to make you question the promise. Distraction to shift your focus from the knock. And delay to make you believe that timing is wrong. But hear me. It's not wrong. It's right now. Why has everything gone quiet? Why have the voices that once affirmed you grown silent? Why does it feel like God Himself has stepped into the shadows? Because heaven is watching who still responds when there is no applause, who still obeys when there is no confirmation, who still believes when the door looks closed. This silence is the test before the shift. You are not waiting for the blessing anymore. blessing is waiting for you. The release has already been signed in the Spirit, but only the responsive heart will receive it. The knock is not just a sound, it is a signal. It comes to expose everything that is not aligned. That's why things started falling apart. That's why certain people started acting strained. That's why opportunities began slipping, only to make room for what's divine. Yes, you've been uncomfortable. Yes, your discernment has felt shaky. But that's because you're being recalibrated. The messenger comes not just to deliver, but to disrupt, to remove what cannot go with you and silence what cannot speak into your next. They saw your movement. They studied your rhythm. They monitored your progress. But they never knew your anointing. And now, they will witness a door open that no man can close. Don't misinterpret the disruption. Don't let emotional imbalance make you miss the divine timing. What you feel is not failure. It's divine friction, announcing your release is at the door. Type "I am ready" in the comments if this word pierced your silence. Blessing code 4444 is now lying your house. If this word has ignited something in you, if the knock in your spirit feels real and the disruption suddenly makes sense, then I invite you to take a step beyond just listening. So into the shift. Stand with us as we awaken others to the sound of God's call. Your support isn't just generosity. It's a spiritual act of alignment. When you give through YouTube's Super Thanks, membership, or PayPal, you become part of the fire that carries this prophetic sound across the earth. This isn't about helping a channel. This is about unlocking doors for those who don't even know they are being called yet. God is using this very moment to stir hearts and realign destinies, and your obedience makes you a carrier of that flame. Heaven records every act of obedience. And just as Elijah's widow opened her door and her jar never ran out, your response today releases multiplied oil for tomorrow. Your seed is not just seen, it's sealed. And if you feel the Spirit tugging you to move, do not delay. Links are in the description. Move as heaven moves you. Type "I sow" into the shift in the comments. Your harvest is already waiting. The war around you has not been random. It was never just about your job, your relationships, or your peace of mind. No, beloved, this conflict was spiritual long before it ever became visible. Well, a light of vision was actually construction. What felt like rejection was actually redirection. And what seemed like silence was the stillness of heaven waiting to see what you would do when there was no applause, no signs, and no clarity. Hear this clearly. The silence was not God's absence. It was God setting the stage. You've cried out, "Lord, why is the door closed?" But what you didn't see was that heaven was preparing one single knock that would change everything. Every delay was divine. Every detour was ordained. Because what is coming into your life now cannot be mishandled, misunderstood, or misplaced. This isn't just a blessing. This is an assignment. This is destiny arriving on your doorstep. You've been feeling the tremble, not around you, but within. That's because you are standing at the intersection between warfare and reward. And you need to hear this. You are not under attack. You are under recognition. The enemy never wastes resources on someone without weight. And right now, your name is echoing in both realms, in hell and in heaven. One is terrified of your obedience. The other is ready to crown it with manifestation. What has looked like chaos was never just chaos. It was a divine filter. Heaven was watching to see who would endure the delay, who would wait at the door without walking away. This delay wasn't meant to destroy you. It was meant to reveal you. It was a sorting line between the weary and the watchful, between those who give up under pressure and those who press in deeper. The fire wasn't to burn you, it was to brand you. Even now, angels are leaning in, watching how you respond. This moment, this exact moment, is not an interruption. It is a divine checkpoint. Do you realize the weight of this? All of heaven is witnessing your posture, your tone, your decisions. Your reaction right now is writing your next 7 days. That's not drama. That's prophetic reality. Some of you are wondering, why is the warfare intensifying just as I'm getting closer to breakthrough? Because the enemy only strikes when something is nearing delivery. And the reason it's been so loud in your atmosphere is because what's been growing in your spirit is now full term. Listen to me. This moment is warfare disguised as invitation. The knock at your door is not only a delivery, it is a test. Will you open it with reverence, or will you doubt because of delay? Will you rise in faith or recoil in fear? You've been prepared for this moment through every battle you thought would break you. But now, those very battles have become your testimony. They've shaped the version of you who can receive and steward the blessing that's been waiting on the other side. Heaven is not waiting for perfection. It is waiting for posture. The divine messenger who knocks is not looking for the one who has never struggled. He's looking for the one who never let go. And that's you. So, stand firm. Wipe your tears. Straighten your back. This is not the time to retreat. This is the time to respond. Heaven is watching who opens with faith and who remains locked behind fear. Type "I open in faith" in the comments if you know this moment is your divine test. Blessing code 1177 has entered your atmosphere. Hear me now, for this is not a soft word. This is not a gentle whisper. This is the trumpet of warning sounding from the highest realm. Before the clock strikes 11:59 p.m., a divine line will be drawn in the spirit. The books of heaven are open, and your posture is being recorded. This is not about how long you've waited, nor how much you've suffered. This is about how you respond right now. You are not standing in an ordinary moment. You are standing in a spiritual intersection. One step in the wrong direction, through fear, delay, or hesitation, can shift your entire timeline. Heaven has sounded the alert. The messenger is not knocking out of courtesy, but out of divine urgency. You've prayed for the release. You fasted for the breakthrough. And now the answer is at the door. But the warning is this: if the door is not opened, the blessing will be rerouted. Yes, I said rerouted. Because the things of God are not tossed to the careless. Heaven is holy, and its treasures are given to those who discern the moment. There is someone else in line behind you, hoping you won't respond, hoping you'll remain distracted, so what was assigned to you will be handed over to them. But tonight, between now and 11:59 p.m., you must decide if you will stand as the rightful receiver or step aside through hesitation. There is warfare in the atmosphere. Can you feel it? That pressure, that weight, that sudden urge to quit, it's all a sign that the spiritual realm is moving. Even now, angels are preparing a transfer. And you, beloved, are the one holding the gate open or closed. This is not to scare you. This is to awaken you. Because what you do with this moment will echo for the next season of your life. Within the next 72 hours, you will see it. You will see something shift, visibly, tangibly, undeniably. For some, it will be the confirmation of obedience. For others, it will be the consequence of delay. Yes, I must speak it plainly. If you ignore this knock, if you harden your heart, if you keep waiting for the perfect moment, the divine clock will strike, and what should have been yours will be held back for another season. There is a build-up in the spirit, a pleasure, a convergence of idyllic movement. The scent of destiny is in the air. Can you sense it? Your obedience is the key that unlocks this weight. And still, the choice remains yours. Heaven is not emotional. Heaven is precise. It responds to faith. It records obedience. And when the moment comes, it passes quickly. The messenger will not knock forever. There is a window, and that window is now. God is not trying to scare you. He is trying to prepare you. Because what He has for you is too valuable to be dropped at a closed door. If you choose fear, if you delay in pride, if you resist out of confusion, the opportunity will not remain waiting. This is your last alert before the silence falls again. And you already know what that silence feels like. Do not let this moment become another regret. Do not let God turn away from the door because you refuse to open it. The warning has been given. The decree has been spoken. The messenger stands ready. Will your door remain closed, or will your faith turn the handle? Type "I will not miss this moment" in the comments if you know heaven is watching your response. Blessing code 9111 has been dispatched to your house. Now that you've heard the knock, now that the urgency has pierced through your distractions, now that your spirit has been stirred, I bring you the voice of peace in the midst of the spiritual pressure. Be still. Yes, be still, for heaven fights when you don't. This is not the hour to panic. This is not the hour to scramble in fear or make desperate moves. No, this is the moment to trust that what hath been assigned to you by God cannot be stolen when you are sealed in obedience. Stillness is not weakness. Stillness is alignment. Your stillness is proof of your trust. Not inactivity, but spiritual posture, a calm, alert, reverent surrender. You do not need to chase down what God has already released. You need only to respond in position. The ones who panic in the presence of pressure prove they don't believe in the presence of divine order. But you are called to silence the noise, to shut the door to distraction, and to listen with intention. Withdraw from the whirlwind of voices. Step away from the chaos of comparison. Shut off the volume of fear that keeps trying to convince you that you'll miss it. You will not miss what you're aligned for. You will not miss what you are prepared to receive. But you must remain in posture. For the messenger will not enter through chaos. He only enters through reverent peace. This is where many lose it. They hear the knock, they feel the shift, but they panic. They begin running to people, to opinions, to frantic action. But divine things are not born in storms, they are conceived in stillness. Just as the Spirit moved upon the waters in silence before creation was spoken, so now does He move upon your life. And He waits for the heart that is not screaming, but surrendered. Let this word protect you from self-sabotage. You do not need to force what God has already formed. Do not try to open what only God can unlock. The blessing is not delayed. It is descending. But like rain falling onto prepared soil, it will only remain where there is depth, not drama. Let your depth be seen through your calm. Let your obedience speak louder than your anxiety. Pray, but pray not with panic. Pray with bustle. Pray not begging, but believing. Worship not to earn, but to align. You are not a beggar at heaven's door. You are a chosen vessel, called to open when the knock comes. But opening doesn't always mean movement. Sometimes it means stillness. Sometimes it means standing still and watching the salvation of your God. Even now, divine strategy is unfolding. The doors that need to shut are closing. The conversations that need to end are being silenced. The spirits that tried to cloud your mind are being scattered. You don't have to fight for this, you just have to stay faithful. The war has already been decided. Now the victory must be received. So do what the enemy hates most. Be still. Trust. Listen. Obey. Because in your stillness, God is moving faster than your panic ever could. Type "I choose stillness" in the comments if this word is real to you. Blessing code 3344 is now surrounding your obedience. Now hear me, for the shift has begun. The wind in the spirit has turned, and I, Michael, declare over you, you are not the same one who once begged. You are the one who now believes. You have been refined through the fire of delay. You have been tested in the silence. You have been broken in places no one saw, and rebuilt by the hand of the living God. This moment, this knock, this divine invitation is not coming to the version of you that was desperate. It is coming to the version of you that has endured. The enemy hoped you would break. He hoped the delay would destroy your expectation. He hoped the betrayal would cause you to close your heart and miss the moment. But what he did not count on was the strength that would rise in you while you waited. What he underestimated was the power being formed in your surrender. You are no longer crawling. You are standing. And not just standing. You are rising. The fire that once looked like punishment has become your light. The tears that once seemed wasted are now the oil of your anointing. You have been forged in hidden places. You have been prepared in silence. And now you walk not with weakness, but with divine authority. This is not just about receiving a blessing. This is about recognizing who you've become in the process. Let me speak to the part of you that forgot your strength. Let me awaken the part of you that lay dormant under the weight of waiting. Heaven never forgot your name. Your cries were not overlooked. Your sacrifice was not invisible. Your midnight prayers were not unanswered. They were shaping you. Heaven was not just preparing your blessing. Heaven was preparing you for the blessing. You have crossed over from surviving to possessing, from asking to commanding, from hoping to standing in holy confidence. This moment has arrived not just to give something to you, but to awaken something in you. This is the sound of spiritual maturity. This is the evidence that your faith has survived the storm. I say again, you are not the saying. The one who doubted has now become the one who declares. The one who hesitated has now become the one who moves with boldness. You have become a vessel heaven can trust. You are now heaven's trusted one. That's why the knock is coming to you. That's why the alert was sent to your address. The ones who open the door now are not those in crisis. They are those in readiness. Do not look around for confirmation. The confirmation is rising within you. That holy fire in your belly, that sudden courage in your bones, that divine clarity in your mind. It is not imagination. It is the evidence that your mantle has shifted. The warfare tried to wound you, but heaven has woven strength into your scars. You will not miss this door. You will not fumble this instruction. You will not fall back into fear. You are moving forward as one marked by fire, guarded by angels, and appointed for a time such as this. Walk like it. Pray like it. Worship like it. Open the door like it. The messenger did not come for who you were. He came for who you've become. And heaven says, now I can trust you. Type "I am heaven's trusted one" in the comments if this word confirms your shift. Blessing code 2288 is igniting your new season. Now comes the revelation. The unveiling of divine intent behind every delay, every disruption, every unanswered prayer, every door that refused to open until now. Heaven has not been silent out of neglect. Heaven hath been deliberate in timing. You did not miss your moment. You were being withheld for a reason greater than your emotions could understand. You were not forgotten. You were being filtered. There was a divine reason for the slowness, a heavenly strategy in the silence. You had to wait so the counterfeit could fade away. You had to pause so that God could clear the stage of what wasn't sent by Him. What looked like rejection was preservation. What felt like abandonment was divine shielding. God didn't say no because you weren't ready. He said wait because the environment wasn't clean. And now, heaven says, it is time. You've asked, Lord, why did it take so long? And here is the answer. Your name was being spoken in the courts of heaven. Decisions were being made about your next. Your file was opened before the throne, and the verdict was being written in fire. The wait wasn't about punishment. The wait was heaven's verification of your endurance, your obedience, your heart. God was not trying to test your emotions. He was proving your character in silence. Heaven had to see what you would do when the crowd was gone, when the miracles paused, when the encouragement dried up. Would you still believe when there was no sign? Would you still praise when there was no promise? And you did. You didn't just wait, you stayed. You didn't just cry, you remained available. And now the voice of God declares over you, the test is complete. The seal is broken. The blessing is released. This knock at your door is not just symbolic. It is spiritual confirmation that the thing you've prayed for has already been dispatched. This is not the season to beg for what's already on the way. This is the moment to open your spirit, to make room, to posture yourself with honor, because what was delayed is now authorized. The messenger who comes carries your decree. God has not overlooked your tears. He has not ignored your faith. He has not bypassed your petitions. He has timed the release for the precise moment your heart could handle the weight of what He's bringing. And now the scrolls have been opened. The instruction has been given. The knock has come, and it bears your name. Heaven whispers even now, open, for this is the messenger carrying your answered prayer. This is not a general word. This is not an abstract moment. This is your release. This is your appointed hour. And the sound of that knock, it is not simply wood against a door. It is eternity touching earth. It is prophecy coming home. Everything you've endured, every battle you didn't understand, every moment you thought you were forgotten, it was all leading here. The delay wasn't the end. It was the divine path toward exact release. And now, heaven is waiting for one more thing, your response. Type the wait was worth it in the comments if this revelation confirms what your spirit already sensed. Blessing code 5505 is now unlocking divine release. If this word just reached into your past and revealed the purpose behind your delay, then I speak to your spirit. Do not walk away from this moment empty-handed. So into the revelation. Let your giving become a prophetic echo that says, Lord, I recognize this is you. Every time you give through Super Thanks, membership, or PayPal, you help unlock someone else's encounter, someone else's knock, someone else's awakening. This isn't a donation. This is divine partnership. Just as God timed this word to reach you in your moment of clarity, He will use you to carry this prophetic sound into someone else's night of silence. The links are in the description. And as you give, I declare, your gift will return as a harvest of divine timing. Your oil will multiply. Your obedience will not go unnoticed by heaven. Don't hesitate. Don't delay. Heaven is moving. Move with it. Type I move with heaven in the comments if you're sowing today. Your obedience will unlock what words alone cannot. Now is the moment where revelation must become response. Heaven has knocked. The messenger has arrived. The alert has sounded. But unless you rise now, unless you step into action, the gate will close with the clock, and destiny will stand paused at your door. This is the hour to declare out loud, not with fear, but with fire. I open my spirit to divine visitation. Say it not as a whisper, but as a war cry, because something in the realm of spirit is shifting the moment you give God your yes. Not your perfect performance, not your flawless record, but your immediate obedience. Heaven is not asking for your resume. Heaven is asking for your response. You waited long enough. You wept long enough. You stood at the edge of breakthrough long enough. And now, everything in the Spirit says, move before 11:59 p.m. Move with prayer. Move with worship. Move with alignment. Move with bold faith. Not with anxiety, but with assurance that the gate is open and your spirit must walk through it. This moment is not about emotion. It is about execution. What has been hovering over your life is ready to descend, but heaven will not drop glory into hands that remain closed. Faith is the key that turns the lock. Your yes in this hour will echo into generations. Your obedience today will become the inheritance of your tomorrow. This is how legacy is born, not in noise, but in a moment of spiritual alignment. Heaven doesn't need your fear. It needs your follow-through. You do not have to feel qualified to obey. You do not need to understand the entire plan to take the first step. God says, move before the clock resets. Because once this moment passes, what was available in this portal of time will be sealed again, waiting for another season, and that is not what you've been prepared for. This is your hour to act. Even now, as this word meets your ears, there is movement in the unseen. The angels assigned to your name are waiting on your faith to trigger release. The knock has already come. The blessing is already standing outside. The breakthrough is not still being formed. It's waiting for your decision. Some of you have hesitated because of fear, others because of past failures, and still others because of weariness. But listen closely. Your weariness is not a sign to quit. It is a sign that you've reached the tipping point. This is the breaking of dawn after the longest night. This is not just a shift. This is a destiny activation. It is not a suggestion. It is a spiritual command. God is saying, I've waited for your yes. I've waited for your agreement. Now step into it. This is your call to declare your readiness, not just with words, but with choices. Choose obedience. Choose stillness. Choose to open the door even when you can't see what's behind it, because your faith doesn't need the full picture. It only needs the command to move. So now, stand in faith. Align yourself. Open the door. Speak it out loud. Pray like you've already received. Worship like it's already done. Walk like you are the one God chose, because you are. Type I am activated in the comments if you feel your destiny stirring. Blessing code 6611 is now releasing what's locked behind your obedience. There is a transaction happening, not in the natural, but in the unseen. Right now, as you listen, as you posture yourself in obedience, as you lean into this divine alert, heaven is recording your response. There is no spotlight, no sound, no applause, but the scrolls of God are being marked. Every act of faith, every word of agreement, every tear that fell while you prayed with no answer, it's all being weighed in the balance of eternity. This is the mystery of visitation. The greatest exchanges in the kingdom happen in silence. One may see the shift in this moment, but heaven does. The realm of the Spirit is not delayed by the absence of evidence. It is moved by the presence of alignment. And if your spirit has opened the door, if you've responded from the depths of surrender, then I declare, what was held back is now being released. What the enemy stole in delay, what disappointment tried to bury, what fear tried to cancel, it is now being traded back in your favor. There is a reversal occurring in silence. While the enemy thought he had silenced your season, God was orchestrating a silent victory behind the veil. Your breakthrough is not coming with noise. It is coming like a whisper. Because what is born of the Spirit does not need an audience. It only needs your agreement. The angels have moved. They are not coming to inspect. They are coming to deliver. And the documents they carry bear your name. Restoration is not a feeling. It is a divine fact. The seals are being broken in realms unseen. The containers of answered prayer are being tipped over. The oil is flowing back into your hands, not because you fought harder, but because you chose to open the door when heaven knocked. You've wondered why you've been restless, why you can't explain the weight pressing against your chest, why you felt like something was shifting, even though nothing around you has changed. That's because your spirit picked up what your mind couldn't process yet. Your inner man recognized the transaction before your eyes could see the manifestation. The unseen always speaks before the seen aligns. And now, I speak it clearly. There is a silent exchange occurring right now on your behalf. Heaven is returning what you lost. Not in the same form, but in greater measure. The grief you thought would never lift is being traded for joy. The time you thought was wasted is being redeemed with acceleration. The loss was never a conclusion. It was a setup for a greater return. But only those who respond in stillness can receive what is being handed out in silence. Let this truth settle in your spirit. Your tears were not wasted. They were receipts. Receipts of faith, receipts of endurance, receipts of obedience. And heaven never ignores what has been wept in honesty. Every sigh was a prayer. Every cry was a seed. And now, the messenger stands with your restoration documents in hand. You won't need to strive for it. You won't need to force it. You just need to remain in alignment as the transfer completes. Because while others are watching for noise, you will receive through stillness. This is the soundless thunder of divine justice. Type I receive the exchange in the comments if you feel the unseen shift pulling on your spirit. Blessing code 7777 has been released into your atmosphere. Now let it be declared in the courts of heaven and echoed through the earth. Justice is being served, and divine reversal is in motion. This is not vengeance from man. This is justice from God. The season where they laughed behind closed doors, where they mocked your faith, where they whispered that you were forgotten, that season is over. Heaven has risen with a decree in its mouth and fire in its wings. What they tried to block will bless you instead. Every plot that was formed in secret, every plan that was designed to delay you, every person who smiled in your face while sowing seeds of sabotage behind your back, all of it has been weighed, measured, and now reversed. Heaven's scales are tilting in your favor. Where there was shame, honor is being poured. Where there was confusion, clarity is emerging. Where there was loss, multiplication is being commanded. The ones who watched you struggle, not with compassion, but with contempt, are about to witness what happens when a child of God stays faithful. You will not need to explain your elevation. God will make it visible. This is the hour of vindication for the quiet ones, for those who chose integrity over influence, for those who prayed instead of retaliated, for those who were shut out of rooms they helped build. Heaven is now reopening the doors. but this time as a stage for your entry. Let this be known. Divine reversal is not petty. It is prophetic. It is not payback. It is realignment. God is not out to embarrass your enemies. He is out to exalt His name through your life. He is turning the plot around not because of who you are, but because of what you carry. And the time has come for what you carry to be revealed in power. Every false watcher, every silent hater, every doubter who labeled you with their limitations, they are about to see the evidence of your endurance. But hear this warning. Do not gloat when you rise. Do not boast when they fall. Because this is not about them. This is about God. He is restoring what the locusts have eaten. He is repaying what the enemy devoured. But He is doing it through you, for His glory. The door they tried to seal shut, that door has now become your open stage. The position they denied you, it has now become your promotion. The influence they tried to suppress, it is now being enlarged by the hand of God. Heaven's decree is simple and sure. It returns to them tenfold, but it returns to you refined. You did have to force the reversal. You didn't have to fight your way into restoration. You just had to stay aligned. And now, the Lord of hosts is fighting for you, not just to restore you, but to reveal you. You are not rising alone. You are rising with angels, with evidence, with authority. This is your season of divine recompense. The books are balanced. The oil is returning. The doors are unlocking. And your name is being spoken in rooms you haven't even entered yet. Justice has moved. Favor is flowing. And the crown is being set upon your head by unseen hands. Type "Justice is mine" in the comments if this word confirms your rise. Blessing code 8880 is now covering your divine reversal. And now, beloved, the message is complete. The warning has been spoken. The instructions have been made clear. The mysteries have been revealed. Heaven has knocked, and you have been chosen to answer. This is not just a spiritual moment. It is an eternal appointment. This was the last alert before release, the final trumpet before silence. The messenger stood at your door, and now, your obedience determines what heaven will do next. Look at what has unfolded. The delay was not denial. A disruption was not punishment. A silence was not abandonment. Everything was divine strategy leading to this threshold, the hour where you either open in faith or close in fear. But I believe, with all authority given to me, that you heard the knock. I believe your spirit recognized the sound that others missed. I believe you've decided you will not let God pass you by. So now I speak this final blessing over you. May your door stay open to divine visitation. May your heart remain sensitive to the quiet voice of heaven. May your atmosphere shift to host the glory of God. May every seed sown in tears now yield a harvest of joy. May your name be carried into places you never applied for, and may your feet be directed only by divine timing. The heavens are no longer silent. They are open. And the decree has been signed. You are sealed, seen, and sent. You are not forgotten. You are not forsaken. The King has extended his scepter. The messenger has left your blessing at the door. Now it waits only for your hand to open it. As the clock nears 11:59 p.m., this is your final charge. Do not delay. Do not doubt. Do not dismiss what your spirit has already confirmed. Open before the midnight hour. Pray. Worship. Obey. Move with holy reverence. And when the release overtakes your house, you will know this was the moment that changed everything. Type "My door is open" in the comments if this word was for you. Blessing code 1159 is sealing your midnight release. If this prophetic word stirred your spirit, if you know you just heard heaven speaking directly to your moment, then hear me now. You can be part of sending this fire to others. Your giving is not support for a video. It is seed into souls. It is fuel for the gospel. It is oil for the lamps of those still waiting to awaken. When you give through super thanks, membership, or PayPal, you become a messenger yourself. You become the carrier of divine urgency. Your gift helps us keep releasing the sound that causes chains to fall and doors to open across the nations. This is your moment to respond not just with words, but with obedience that multiplies. The PayPal link is in the description. And as you give, I release this promise over you. Your generosity will echo back into your own life as multiplied favor and prophetic fulfillment. Don't miss this divine exchange. Step into the flow. Sow where the fire burns. Type I sow into the prophetic if you are giving today. The windows of heaven are already open.